some, it's entertainment. For others, it's travel. Acura. Some things are worth the price.
We are back in New York with the Los Angeles Rams, the 7th overall pick after their trade with Indianapolis, letting Indy go up to 5, and now they are down at 7. The Rams, I mean, let's keep this in mind. Their last 2 #1 picks, 2 years ago, Sean Gilbert, who's just a force in the middle of that defensive line. Last year, Jerome Bettis made the Pro Bowl as the rookie running back. So the Rams moving down, and before we say, well, what are they doing? And what, you know, they have a palace riot. They don't know what their plan is. Their plan the last 2 years with the first pick is pretty darn good. Now, offensive line, A, ground chuck.
Right.
B, the LA Rams, I mean, they keep linemen there for 12 to 15 years, i.e. Jackie Slater.
That's what you have to do. I think you have to take a look at who is on the offensive line of the Los Angeles Rams. Irv Eatman, 9th year. Newberry, 9th year. Brostick, 5th year. Goaz, 5th year. Jackie Slater, that is not a misprint. That shouldn't be 9. That is 19 years that stalwart has been there. That's where I really think that change has got to come. An offensive lineman here helps Chuck continue the legacy that he has built. I'm telling you, you win ask Bill Tobin. You win football games playing defense and running the football. I think he's starting to build the Indianapolis Colts that way. That's the way Chuck has done it. It's a good, sound, solid way to win football games. No, it's not glamorous. It's not flashy. But all you do is win ball games, and that's where I think you should go.
All right, let's quickly go from here out west to San Francisco and check in with Fred Edelstein. And Fred, you have some more news on the Colts move to Alberts.
Yeah, Chris, I spoke with Ralph Sindrich, who is Trev Albert's agent, just a little while ago, and he was totally shocked that this move came. He didn't see it coming at all, and he made a pretty good point. I said to him, Ralph, would Trev Alberts have been there at 7 for the Colts if the Colts would have made this trade? He said from his information, absolutely. So what we have here, not only did the Colts make this move, but it obviously seems to be a move that they didn't have to make.
All right, Fred, we'll check back to you as the 49ers hope to be big players today, moving up and down, and they have a couple of first-round picks. The Rams now with 37 seconds on the clock to make this pick. If you tune in late, the Rams moved down a couple of slots, and I misspoke it. The Colts did not pick up an extra 3. They had all those 3s. They got rid of 1. So the Rams pick up a 3, the 83rd overall pick from the Colts.
On the clock. They made a trade for this selection.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Well, there you go. We checked in with San Francisco. We told you they hoped that it would be busy at this point. And the 49ers indeed are busy. They're not dizzy, they're busy because they have just made a trade with the Rams. And let's get details right now from the podium. Well, see, there's the 4 guys with the card.
You're right.
So you know that's a trade situation.
It was a little misleading. They really weren't in a huddle before when you said
they
3.
Had 3. It was kind of deception.
It was a little shady. I agree with you.
Bryant Young here, Chris. Bryant Young seemed to be a defensive tackle that the 49ers had an interest in. They knew Seattle wanted him at 8. Makes sense to me to go up with the Rams at 7 to get
Sam
Bryant
Adams?
Young.
Possibly.
Defensive lineman. I like Bryant Young.
Yeah.
They could go defensive line, could the Niners? And don't forget, well, here's the commissioner.
The 7th pick in the draft was traded by the Rams to San Francisco, who have selected Bryant Young, defensive tackle, Notre Dame.
Well, we'll get the rest of the details on that trade in a moment, but as you suggested, Bryant Young, who you know exactly what you're going to get. Bryant Young has the motor running all the time. He's ready to step in on the inside along with Dana Stubblefield, one of their 2 first-round picks from last year. And all of a sudden now the 49ers, who were really hurt, especially along that defensive line, as you know, George Seifert likes to play the 4, the 5, the 6 guys and rotate them in and out. They got 2 young guys in the middle who project to clog up things, and that allows them to do other things with their linebackers. And remember, they picked up Norton and they got Plummer. Mel on Bryant Young.
I'll tell you what, Chris, you know, Vinny Serrato, who makes the calls with the scouting department with the 49ers, recruited Bryant Young at Notre Dame, and he has developed into a heck of a football player. Got his weight up to around 285. You see him here, number 97, closing in on Jim Miller, the quarterback at Michigan State. Here against Northwestern, you see him blasting through, taking advantage of that chiseled frame and that great speed. And He's a guy, his motor never stops running. In Notre Dame's defensive system, it was more a read, react, contain type scheme. When he's turned loose in the NFL with the 49ers, you will see this kid develop into, I think, Pro Bowl type material. It's a great move because they knew, I think the 49ers did, that Seattle at 8 was desperate for a defensive lineman, either Bryant Young or Sam Adams. And in order to get Bryant, they had to move up.
Well, let's get to the podium and the details of the trade, Mel.
The Rams have ended up with the following picks. The 15th pick in the first round in this draft, which was a San Diego pick, which the 49ers had obtained through a trade. The 56th pick in this draft, which is San Francisco's own second-round pick. And the 100th pick in this draft, which is a compensatory pick in the third round that had been the Philadelphia Eagles pick, traded to San Francisco. So the Rams will now be selecting in the 15th, 56th, and 100th positions in this draft.
Now, so to swap places and move up, it cost the 49ers a 2 and a 3. But they've got a player that they are just thrilled about. And, you know, the Niners, Fred Edelstein, worked this up and down. If it's not every year, it's just about shades of Jerry Rice several years ago, although this wasn't quite as high. This is higher than they had to come and get Jerry Rice. Fred, kind of strange that they made the trade in the division. Made it even tougher to do, but they pulled it off.
Well, Chris, I think that the 49ers really bingoed this thing, and this whole Trev Alberts controversy helped nobody like it helped the 49ers. Bryant Young was their number 2 guy on the board after Dan Wilkinson. They had tried hard to make a trade with Tampa Bay. They were offering the first, which they just traded, the second, which they just traded, and Amp Lee to Tampa Bay for this. Sam White said, no, we got a better deal. Then Trent Dilfer fell down to him. For the 49ers, again, George Seifert loves defensive linemen, had this guy way ahead of Willie McGinnis, who they were worried about, who was just a pass rusher. Yeah, they were interested in Trev Alberts. Yeah, they were interested in John Theory. Yeah, they were interested in Antonio Langham. But if they could have made one trade, it would have been Bryant Young. And about 10 minutes ago when I spoke with the 49ers, they weren't too thrilled about things because it wasn't going their way. It didn't look like they could get Bryant Young. But again, beneficiaries of this situation, and now they have the guy that they wanted.
All right, Freddie, thank you. So 7 years ago today, the 49ers acquired Steve Young in a trade from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Today, in a trade engineered on draft day with the draft Bryant Young. Forever young, the San Francisco 49ers. We'll be back.
Don't you wish you could be this comfortable with all your decisions? Acura. Some things are worth the price.
Since I came to the United States, I speak English better, but Russian is still my language.
This is my home, Brighton Beach.
The Russian language is like music. I speak Russian everywhere.
Everything is Russian.
Russian bath, books Russian.
Russian nightclub. The weather is Russian. Now even my phone company Russian.
With MCI's friends around the world, you can have your international operator service in your language automatically.
They even call me to make sure I'm getting their best savings. It makes everything просто, simple. It shows respect.
Join friends around the world anytime. The easiest way to call, the easiest way to save.
My family's been brewing beer around here for 120 years. Every now and then, I think that's a big accomplishment. That's when it's time to come out here. It's nice to get a little perspective.
I got Dodger Blue coursing through my veins. Yes, sirree, I eat Dodger Blue for lunch, dinner, and breakfast. Ouch! You got some Dodger Blue in my eyes. But that's okay, because I can't get enough Dodger Blue.
Tonight, it's the Expos versus the Dodgers.
How about a little more on my pants, tough guy?
Back to the NFL draft, the 8th pick now on the board, Seattle Seahawks. They've got about 9.5 minutes to go. Again, to recap the trade that just happened, the Rams and the 49ers made a trade. The Niners moving up to take the Rams spot and selecting Bryant Young, defensive tackle, Golden Domer. The Rams moved down to take the Niners, the first of their 2 first-round picks at 15, the second-round pick at 56, and the third they just got from Philadelphia for Romanowski, a compensatory pick, number 100. Well, the Niners, who had some trouble stopping the run last year, should be able to bottle things up in the middle, Joe.
Well, I think this is a great move for both the Rams and the 49ers. The 49ers are 1-2 players away on defense to really put themselves over the hump. The Rams still need players. When you take a look at this, where they were, for example, their NFL ranking 16th with 18 points a game, 112 yards and a half, 16th. Yards per rush. Now, that's the big key, 28th. Touchdown passes allowed. That means you're getting no pressure on the quarterback, 25th. See, at the end of the season last year, the San Francisco 49ers ran into a problem. Prior to the last 3 or 4 games, they were playing a 4-down sequence. It worked out great. Then they got their down lineman hurt. They had to go to the old elephant defense that they had. They weren't playing it well. It didn't generate, obviously, the rush stoppage or the pressure on the passer. This allows them to go back to the 4-down, put quality pressure on a quarterback, stop the run, and make it one step closer. With all the problems that are happening in Dallas, San Francisco, with good moves here, emerges to the top as, I think, a favorite for a Super Bowl.
Well, we're talking about the 49ers and them bottling things up in the middle. The team on the clock right now, the Seattle Seahawks, they want to bottle things up in the middle, and they've got one of the best in Cortez Kennedy, who's their defensive tackle. But the Seahawks down on the clock, and Young and Albert's gone. That should remove all doubt. The Seahawks are looking at Sam Adams, the defensive lineman, who they think they can go right next to Cortez Kennedy and settle things for them in the middle for a long, long time. They're probably entertaining a phone call, perhaps from Buddy Ryan, who was 2 picks below at 10 with the Arizona Cardinals. Buddy likes Sam Adams very much, and so that's probably what's going on right now, but I'd be surprised if the Seahawks moved out of there and didn't go with Sam Adams. Let's join Mike Gottfried now. And Coach, Sam Adams is a player with which there is mixed opinion, not on ability, but some folks think that maybe a problem situation. I know the Seahawks and others don't view this as a problem. They view him as perhaps a tremendous player. How do you view Sam Adams?
Chris, I think he should be in the top 4 picks of this draft. The big question on him is his intensity in practice and sometimes in some of the smaller ball games. But you're talking about somebody who's 6'3", 295. He explodes off the line of scrimmage. His first step, he's very quick, uses his hands very well, light on his feet. If he didn't have the questions overshadowing him, he'd be a top 4 pick in this draft. Defensive lineman, recruiting, drafting, that's what you want to find. He's a good one.
So, all right, Coach. Joe, let me get your opinions on Sam Adams. He's a guy that when he's on the field and lets loose, athletically, he's right there with anyone.
Well, I think it's a great fit, Chris, obviously because of what's happened to Cortez Kennedy up front for the Seattle Seahawks. Look at his production of the last year versus this year. 92 tackles are down, but not a lot. Sacks is really where he fell off. But, of course, when you're the only guy rushing the passer, you're going to be blocked by 2, 3, possibly even 4 people. Tackles for losses down from 28 to 13. He came in as a rookie phenom. Then he became a sophomore that everybody said, whoa, we know where he is now. They need to put a compliment to him on the defensive line. Think of the great rush teams that put pressure on the quarterback, Lawrence Taylor and Leonard Marshall. You think of now with Sean Jones and Reggie White in Green Bay. I think it's the combinations that really are productive for you. That's what I think the Seahawks need. They need a Sam Adams. He's a young guy. He's got to get stronger, but he's got a wealth of talent, and he can really make a difference on a team that is really on the rise.
No doubt about it. Remember, the Seahawks signed a couple of the Buffalo Bills Pro Bowlers, cornerback Nate Odoms and tackle House Ballard. And, of course, they have a second-year quarterback by the name of Rick Meyer from
Notre Dame.
Thank you. Notre Dame. He's not too shabby. So this defense with Cortez Kennedy and now maybe Sam Adams. NFL is in his pedigree, Sam Adams. His father was a very good guard for the New England Patriots teams in the 70s and early 80s.
He was, Chris, and Sam Adams Jr. made a big splash right away as a true freshman at Texas A&M. Just completed his 3rd year in the program, decided to come out early. You're looking at a big kid, 295 pounds, great explosion, great burst off the line of scrimmage. Here he plays off the block against Louisville, makes the tackle on running back Anthony Shellman. He had 9.5 sacks, 12 quarterback pressures, a ton of tackles behind the line of scrimmage. The one thing Sam has to do, as Joe touched on, is get a little stronger. He only did 16 reps, 225 pounds. Of course, he weighs in at about 290. Also, he tended to drop off a little bit if plays weren't directed his way. He would kind of pull up a little bit. He